Equality and poverty. That's what Troika's memorandum, the IMF, the EU and the European Central Bank, with the coordination of the Portuguese government, are bringing to this country.
I'm here to protest against the Troika's decisions, which are no solution. On the contrary, they're leading us into a deep recession. They, the Troika, didn't come here to help us. They're throwing us into a hole.
Organisers say 300,000 people packed to the Palace Square in the capital Lisbon on Saturday. It was the largest rally against austerity and economic hardship since Portugal was bailed out by the EU and the International Monetary Fund last May. The mass rally comes days before the country's international lenders will start their quarterly evaluation of the implementation of cuts made in exchange for the bailout. Portugal's largest trade union, CGTP, has promised a fresh wave of rallies by the end of February. The union refused to sign a pact with the government on labour market reforms last month. In Brooklyn, Occupy protesters have teamed up with students, teachers and parents to protest against the shutting down of more than 20 schools across New York City. More than 2,000 people showed up to protest the closures, but in the end, the panel for educational policy voted to close or partially close 23 underperforming schools on Thursday. At one point, police officers were deployed to the venue of the meeting. The closures are part of New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg's educational reform program. The program has come under fierce criticism. Press TV's Gary Anthony Ramsey joins me live from New York. Gary, first of all, what is this educational reform program all about?
Well, several years ago, right before 2002, the mayor was given full control of what was once known as the Board of Education, now called the Department of Education. Before that, the education system in New York City was a cooperative arrangement between the state and the city. Well, since the mayor took over, he basically said, in order to improve the situation, I have to be given control. And part of that is to set up a program that evaluated schools based on the performance of their students and standardized tests that those students have to take. Now, since the Bloomberg administration has taken over, based on the criteria that was set for those schools to pass or fail, to be deemed passing or failing, the administration has closed more than 117 failing schools. Now, sometimes that phrase, when it says closing the school, sometimes it doesn't mean actually shuttering the doors of a facility. What it essentially means is that they completely throw out the administration and throw out whatever operational plan was in effect, bringing in new teachers, bringing in a new plan and a new hierarchy to try to get the school to turn it around or to get students to pass those tests. Now, one of the criticisms of this is that, well, the mayor, being in the 1%, is not familiar in any way with the public education system. In fact, he was criticized widely for appointing a director of the Department of Education, a woman who had no education experience. She was just another person. She was a person in his circle who came from corporate America. That lasted about 8 months before Diane Black was asked to resign by the mayor. But this program that we're talking about now is a panel that essentially reviews the records of schools and decides whether or not resources should continue to be put in those schools or they should be sent elsewhere. Now, the criticism of closing these schools is that some of these students will then be sent to other schools that are on the borderline and setting those schools up to fail as well, rather than simply giving the teachers and the institution resources that they need. At least the union claims that this is what should be the alternative to what's been going on under the Bloomberg administration.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Press TV's Gary Anthony Ramsey, our correspondent reporting from New York. Gary, thanks there. Moving on, US Republican presidential hopeful Mitt Romney has won the Maine caucuses. Romney won the state's non-binding nomination contest with 39% of the votes. Texas Congressman Ron Paul came in second with 36% of ballots. The state will later award its delegates at the Republican National Convention. The win in Maine was a much-needed boost for Romney's campaign. The former Massachusetts governor had lost the last three contests to former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum. Also in the race to challenge Democratic President Barack Obama is former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. Another boost for Romney came earlier on Saturday when it was announced that he won a key straw poll of conservative activists. And still in the US, reports say President Barack Obama is spending millions of dollars to boost his re-election bid. Last year, Obama's campaign and the Democratic National Committee reportedly spent twice as much as all the Republican candidates combined. More than $120 million have apparently been spent since Obama launched his re-election campaign. Reports say about $144,000 were spent just on text messages. Other expensive propositions include some $15 million for internet advertising and telemarketing. Payroll expenses for campaign staff have also reportedly grown from over $2 million in the second quarter to $7 million in the fourth quarter of 2011. The figure does not include hundreds more staffers working for state parties.
Thank you all for being here.
And a helicopter belonging to a company working with NATO forces has crashed in southern Afghanistan. Sources at a logistics firm working with the US-led foreign forces in Afghanistan say the civilian helicopter went down in southern Zabul province. 4 crew members were killed in the incident. The sources say they were all Tajik nationals. It's not immediately known what caused the helicopter to crash. In a similar incident last month, a civilian helicopter contracted to NATO forces crashed in the southern Helmand province, killing 3 Americans.